I wanted to do a review on our Berkey Water Filter. This is a Royal Berkey, which it means it's 3.25 gallons. There are other sizes available. I'll list them in the description below. We fill this up probably every day to every other day and use all of it. We don't drink tap water, we run it through here.
Here's an example as to why we run tap water through the Berkey. My wife installed this little adapter so she can wash her hands a little easier several months ago, and when she removed the aerator from the faucet, this is what she found. And so we decided to go ahead and check my faucet. And there was a lot of sediment in it. So this is just one reason. There are many reasons for us to filter water.
We got a notice that we have to boil water when the power outage happened in Texas, but we had just been drinking water an hour earlier before that notice, so it could have been contaminated at that point. But we had been drinking out of the Berkey by default anyway, so it didn't bother us. We knew we were safe. But because of that, the filters might have been filtering bacteria. I decided to go ahead and change out the filters. If it's going to filter that, I'd feel safer just changing them. And that made me think, well, why don't I just do a video? Because I have to go through the same steps as you would if you were to buy one. So I'm going to show how to install the spigot, how to prime the filters, and how to test for leaks. So, which is very important. Let me just real quick read a few things that it filters. I'm going to put it in the description, a link that will take you to a place where you can see all of the things that it filters. It's pages long. But just to give you an idea, viruses, bacteria, lead, arsenic, iron, mercury, chlorine, pharmaceuticals, petroleum, pesticides, heavy metals.
So the first step is to install the spigot. It comes with a plastic one. We've had this for many years, but we just decided to upgrade to a stainless steel. I'll have a link below if you want more information about that. Installation process is about the same though. So the first step is to install the washer cover, and then the silicone washer. And then slide it into the system body. And then, of course, the next thing would be the silicone washer. And then the washer cover. And then you just tighten up the nut by hand. Now the next step is going to be priming the filters to get the air out and any dust. They come with this little spacer here, and you're supposed to place it up against the faucet and then hold it in place while turning the water on slightly, and it'll prime it. But some faucets this doesn't work. So what I did is I bought this other little device here, and it works on our faucet. I'll go ahead and put a link below if you want information about that, or if I can't find it, I'll put whatever I can find. Anyway, so what you do is just hold it on really tight, otherwise you're going to have a real mess on your hands. And turn the water on just slightly, and wait, and then pretty soon water will start seeping out. And once it starts to come out, I think 45 seconds to a minute is about right. And now the next step is to install the Berkey black filters. You'll notice there's 4 holes. The system I bought had 2 Berkey filters, so they also came with 2 plugs, and you just plug up the other 2 holes. The other holes are there so you can install 2 more black Berkeys, or you can install their arsenic and fluoride filters. So you just put the little gasket over the filter and then slide it in, and once it's in the hole there, be sure to support it with your hand so it doesn't break. Now there's no separate washer. All you do is you put the nut on and screw it on, and just hand tight. Then you just do the other side. Now, once they're secure, the next step is to perform a leak test. Berkey says to use red food coloring, and the reason is because it doesn't have any minerals in it. Other food coloring colors do, and the filter will allow minerals through. So it'll see the red food coloring as a contaminant and should not let it through. So what you do is you place 2 containers of some kind, glasses or something, in the bottom part of the Berkey, and then line up the filters so that the water will drain in those, so you can isolate the problem if you have a leak in one of them. They say to fill it up all the way up, and then a teaspoon per gallon of water. In my case, I do that later, but for this, I just went ahead and put 1 gallon in, 1 teaspoon, and ran it for let it drip down for about 5 minutes. It leaked. It's the first time I've ever had that happen. So it's either usually a bent bottom, the metal, or or it's not tight enough, or something's wrong with the filter. And I've done this enough to know that it's got to be the filter. So I have a spare filter anyway. So I installed it and ran the test again. And sure enough, it was the filter. So it's working fine now. You should perform this test every 3 months or so.
We used to have our water delivered to us years ago. And then, of course, when we got the Berkey, we stopped the service and saved a lot of money. And it didn't take long for the Berkey to pay for itself. According to Berkey, their filters can filter 3,000 gallons before needing to replace them. That's assuming you're not putting river water in, but that's what they say, about 3,000. So with 2 filters, it'll go 6,000 gallons before I need to replace them. But there is some maintenance. After about 6 months, just take a Scotch-Brite, put a little water on, no soap, and just go ahead and clean it. And it'll take the debris off, and it'll start flowing a lot faster again. If you notice before 6 months that it's slowing down a lot, you can just go ahead and remove the filters and clean them with the Scotch-Brite, and it'll filter a little bit faster. And then the chambers need to be cleaned once a month. So you would take the filters out, put them aside, and then a little mild soap and water with your hand, clean it up, rinse it out, and let it air dry. We also just spray it out, rinse it out every week or 2, just before we fill it up. And then every 3 months we do the food coloring test with the red food coloring, just to be sure that everything's working the way it should. So for more information about this, just see the link below. And I wanted to thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, useful, maybe like it, share it, and subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.